Friday afternoon. We're happy to be back with a very special edition. This is
TilbuZz. Hello, and we're going to talk in English today. And that means because we're doing that especially for a lot of people who have come to Tilburg this week. And there are about 100 of them in the back. But we really want to say to you, you belong now to Tilburg. You're here, so you can join the fun. So come on over. You can come on and sit on the front rows.
We're going to pretend like it's a concert, so move a bit closer if you want. No?
The front rows, come on. We need you to be a part of the city, of course. That's why we have this program, especially voor de mensen thuis. We gaan vandaag dus even over naar het Engels, terwijl zij naar beneden komen. Ze komen langzaam dichterbij.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. We won't bite. We're too far away to bite.
Not yet, not yet.
En het wordt een speciale uitzending dus voor alle internationale gasten. Een kleine 3.000-4.000 volgens mij die elk jaar in Tilburg landen.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
3,000-4,000.
So we have a full program. Do you know some of the people who are coming? Hi, Ro.
Not specifically, but what I'm really curious about is, like, I also studied abroad.
Oh yeah.
I have my own experience.
Where did you study?
Copenhagen.
Nice.
So Denmark, which is it feels very Dutch, but also the experience to getting used to a new environment and then combining studying with like socializing, and of course there's always parties. I think there will be parties in Tilburg as well, but
I hope
these
so.
things I hope I can relate. So looking forward.
So I think they already have their first party. Who had a first party already in Tilburg? Maybe by show of hands. Who has already had a party in Tilburg?
That's good. I see some hands.
That's
good.
almost half. Oh, then the other half should join next time. Because there's a lot of stuff to do in the city.
We have a vibrant evening life in Tilburg. So
we have a very cool nightlife in Tilburg.
Yeah.
And for the ones who are listening at home, this is Yusuf Çelik. Welcome.
Thank you.
You have a very important role in Tilburg when it comes to the housing, for instance, of these people and the integration of these people. If I'm well informed.
You're correct. I'm alderman here in the municipality of Tilburg, and I'm responsible for housing, neighborhoods, and integration.
Nice.
And how does that work? Like, let's imagine I'm a new student to the city. Where do I start?
Where do you start? Now, first of all, we have offices. The university has office, so you can get informed what you need. On behalf of housing, we have several options. You have the private market where you can find a room, but also our preferred partners like the housing corporations here in Tilburg. We have Wonen Breeburg, TBV Wonen, and TilbuZz. And just recently we added one more a student housing corporation, SSH. So you're welcome to get informed by those corporations.
Nice.
Nice. And what do you think is one of the things that the city has to offer for these people?
Yeah, we're a very vibrant city with a lot of cultural diversity. We are a very social city, and our educational institutions have a high level of schooling, and Tilburg is not the prettiest girl in the classroom, but she's the most fun. So. You can have lots of fun in Tilburg. We are the Volkskrant, one of our biggest newspapers, said this week. It wrote Tilburg has a lot of hidden gems. We are a miracle in Brabant. Get to know us and learn to love Tilburg.
Nice. I hope the students have more than enough time to do so. I think they will. And I hear something about hidden gems as well. I noticed something about a city map that people have been working on. Maybe we'll get to that later. Yeah,
there's a use it map coming, useit.eu, and there's a special Tilburg one coming out, I think, in October, because it took a little more time. But for everyone, there probably will be a really cool map very soon. So these students, I think, mostly are from Fontys, but there's also the university in Tilburg. And it's very nice because we have Victoria Barroeta.
Barroeta, but yes.
Barroeta. It's even more beautiful than I thought. Barroeta. And you are from the Tilburg University.
Yes.
Yes. And what's your role there? What do you do at Tilburg University?
I am the International Marketing and Recruitment Coordinator. Mm-hmm. I'm also a Tilburg University alumnus, and then now I work for the Marketing and Recruitment Department.
And why did you come to Tilburg then?
I started my studies in 2016. I'm originally from Venezuela. I've lived a little bit of all over the place, 5 countries, but then ended up in Tilburg out of all places, yes.
Nice.
How did that happen? Yeah. Tilburg?
Yeah, that's always a bit of a long story, probably what all internationals answer. To be very honest, the Netherlands was never in my radar, let alone Tilburg. But yeah, my first year abroad was in the United States, and then I happened to meet a lot of Dutchies there who, yeah, put the idea in my head of like, oh, why don't you study in the Netherlands? And when I started doing the research, long story short, I ended up studying economics at Tilburg University.
Nice.
And did you fall in love with our city?
Yeah, I think to be also honest, I'm a big city kind of person, but I love that Tilburg is truly the place to be a student. I think if you come here as a student, everything is for and by students. And if I compare it, because I had to do a pre-bachelor in Amsterdam, Amsterdam also a beautiful city, completely different from Tilburg, but then to be a student, you feel a bit lost there because you have also tourists and expats and a bunch of universities. And then when you come to Tilburg, then you start recognizing people when you walk around the street, when you go to events, even though you don't know them, you're like, I've seen this person somewhere, and you also see a lot of people your own age. So I think that to be a student is a great place.
So you've experienced it yourself, and now your role at the university also is about helping other students experiencing that. Like, how does that work? What's your role there specifically?
Yeah, so what we do is helping international students in their transition of choosing the university, and we help with information events. We have our own webinars talking about Tilburg University and the programs that we have to offer. And for us, what's always really important is the right fit. We don't want to massively recruit or tell everyone that Tilburg University is the best university in the world, but for some student it is. And that's what we try to find, is that one student that really fits the Tilburg University profile, that finds the right program for them, and that it can be of added value from both sides.
Nice, and because you're doing the marketing, so you're trying to get as much students at Tilburg as possible. But we are hearing that it's sometimes there are too much students coming to Tilburg because they have problem finding housing. How are you? Did you already hear that? Or?
Well, now I'm already going to rephrase a little bit what you just said, because we do not try to recruit as many students as possible. What we want is, we do have international programs, and just to name a few that are very popular among international students, like cognitive science and artificial intelligence, as an example. These kind of themes that become more and more popular every day, and that are quite specialized in the Netherlands, and you don't find these programs abroad. This already catches the eye of many international students. And then for us, it's about informing what we have in offer, and then making sure that when students ask questions, we also advise them on Tilburg is the good university for you, or it is not.
Yeah. And do you hear this, the fact that some students have difficulty when they come here to find a place, or can you also help them with that, or is that something that you think also about?
Yeah, so that is no lie, or no hidden message, that it is difficult to find housing, not only for students, for everyone in the Netherlands, but when you come from abroad and you don't have the time to go to viewings, or when you arrive in the Netherlands, your first encounter, you already have to secure a place. That's of course difficult. And what we are always telling students is, if they know they want to study in the Netherlands, if they know that they want to study in Tilburg, they should start looking for accommodation in advance. So apply as soon as you make that decision, and then immediately start looking for housing. So it's about being proactive. It's about also having all of your options open. It's also about building a network. So already reaching out to some people, asking if they know anyone who has a room, and take it from there. But it is, so
it's important to be, and you also communicate probably that when they are coming here, that this is the things you need to do.
I have some more questions, but when I went to Denmark, I also had to look for housing. And when I got there, I didn't have a place to stay, so I Airbnb'd for a couple of days, weeks, and then I found a place via a website. Like, I think that are comparable ones here in Tilburg. But the university there also had dorm rooms. Is that something that Tilburg University has ever considered, or is it a decision not to do that, or like, how does that work?
Yeah, so at the moment, Tilburg University does not own housing, but we do also host housing webinars, and we have housing officers at the university that try to help students as much as possible with finding accommodation. And we do have many reserved rooms for international students. So that already helps smoothen the process, but we communicate very clearly that it's important that you start early and that if you don't have accommodation, to already have something in place and something secure for when you arrive. Because of course we want to avoid that a student arrives in August and doesn't have a room or cannot find a room in 1 week. So ideally is always to secure something. Then already on our website, when you go to the accommodation page, you find all of the options for international accommodation, which agencies are out there, where to look for, which Facebook groups to join, these sort of things.
Kind of curious also, maybe final question before we move on, but how many of the students here already have found a place to stay? Can we see some hands? All right, so this is about 50%.
And who hasn't got a steady place for the next half year? That you're sort of steady already. Who doesn't have a steady place? It seems like everyone has a steady place. But I don't think
see some hands raised in the back.
Who already has signed a contract, has a place where they already can be for the next half year or the total time of their study. Yeah, and who doesn't? Because I think there are a few people who don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 people here. 5 in the back, also someone. Maybe we can ask one of them to tell about what kind of story that is, how that happened. Then thank you, Victoria, for now. And thank you for being here. I hope you get a lot of cool students also. I know these ones are really cool, so I hope you have the same. And then maybe for next year, we would love to invite you back.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And maybe one of the, maybe you could come forward for a second? Yeah.
In the meantime, there's, or maybe that's a question I can raise afterwards, but I'm curious, sometimes you hear that some student houses, they are specifically looking for Dutch people to join the rooms.
Yeah.
I find that troubling myself. So maybe it's something we can talk about after this, but...
Yeah. Important subject.
Did you also do these signals also because you're part of your portfolio is housing? Yeah. Do these signals also reach you?
Sure. The Dutch only subject is very troublesome. It's because we want to. We have a inclusive society, and we want to make sure that these sorts of discrimination is not happening here in Tilburg. So we have something what we call legislation about good landlordship. We want to see that these terms like Dutch only won't be used on advertisements online, offline. So I hope you'll stay here in Tilburg. Is very nice, and you can enjoy our cultural diverse municipality, and we welcome everyone here. We see that we have a vibrant city, and students led to this new culture in Tilburg, new vibrant culture in Tilburg. And our growth as a city is based on students, and we appreciate that, and we welcome everyone here in Tilburg to have a nice time and enjoy the city and learn and do the best that you have in you.
I can completely understand, but it must also be super difficult to keep track of what's happening in these Facebook groups, right? So. Yeah. Is there what is it that you can do as being a representative of Tilburg to help these international students overcome, for example, the situation?
Yeah, we have an online complaint service, contact center that you can contact if you see these sort of kind of things, advertisements with Dutch only. So please address these on the online complaint page. As a municipality, we try to talk and reach out to these renters, and we address this subject, and we'll try to help them with our team. We have a rental assistance team here.
Oh, nice.
So we'll look how we get a solution. We have the expertise in the house to help them with your well-being and your rights. So we'll try to assist as much as we can.
Because I think we have Ilya Belobrovic.
Yeah.
Aha, yes, that's you. And you had one of these first experiences that wasn't that good because you weren't able to get a room straight away.
Yeah, it is. I'm exchange students from Lithuania, and honestly, I didn't think that it can be so hard to find accommodation in the Netherlands. And I started looking for a room in the end of July, and it was fairly late, unfortunately. And I'm looking for a room on Facebook, on other social agency like BVVonen, Kamernet, and so on.
Yep.
Yeah, but also on Kamernet it can be so hard because the owner of apartments, he can say go to WhatsApp, for example, and he will say like, I have a contract, you can live here and so on, only you can pay to deposit right now. Our Airbnb, but it's fake Airbnb, not original, when I go to link and so on, and it's pretty hard. Yeah, or other people can just hurry so much, like right now, tomorrow, move in, fast.
So they
fast,
pressure
fast.
you a little bit. So you say, if I understand well, that you had an experience where you were pressured into paying a lot of money on front, and then you didn't really trust it. You went to the place, and then finally you said, I'm not going to do it because it wasn't.
Yeah, it is.
And also the risk of getting scammed. I mean, being a student is expensive enough, so I can imagine that must be even like a bigger problem if you face these cases where they ask you to deposit and then there's no room. So that's something to be diligent about. It's probably also something that
very awful to hear. I feel sorry for your situation. But what the truth is about Holland and the housing situation is that we have a very scarce housing market. So houses are very scarce if you for students, but also for expats, for labor migrants, but also for Dutch people. So what we try to do as a municipality is to join forces with our partners to try to overcome these problems. So what we try to do is the demand of affordable and sustainable housing is very, very high. So we try to make collaborations with parties that can help us to overcome these problems. Just like, for instance, Hospi Housing. Hospi Housing is a partner which we made a very recent collaboration with. If you live here in Tilburg and you have a room, you have a spare room, you can help international students or students in general. And rent your room. So and works both sides, because you get a room and the other has a roommate where you can talk to.
So that's maybe one of the tips. Hospi Housing is one of
housing,
them.
Yeah.
And that's a growing network, I think, of people. So if you're listening and you want to take someone in, I think at least you can have like 2 or 3 people in the house. That's a maximum. Something like that. I think there are some rules.
For Hospi Housing is 1.
Oh, for Hospi Housing it's even 1.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, at the moment we have 7 people, because a lot of people were scammed, and they at my house they all ring the bell, and it's a very busy place. So I really hope that they will find places in Hospi Housing or other places. Thank you very much. A lot of success. If people are like, this is a cool dude, I would love to Hospi house him, then then they can make contact with us, and we'll try to find you a good place.
Okay.
Thank you.
That would be cool, right?
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Yep. Then. So Yusuf, this is of course an issue, and there's a long term. This is going to be no problem, because there's a lot of big projects coming, I believe. What's one of the things that you're really looking forward to? It's going to be a good project. Do you think that will really help this problem forward in a fast way?
Because it's very difficult to build at this moment. We have a lot of humps we have to overcome. It's about inflation. It's about the price of commodities. So we have to be a bit more creative. But I look forward to several housing projects that's going to be available for you. The Baron.
The Baron. Yeah. Where is that coming?
High Lane here next to the train station. So there are projects close, that are opening their doors for new students, for exchange students. So I hope that'll help on the short term.
And is it like in 1 year, 2 year? We hope that the situation
The
improves?
Highline will open very soon.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Baron will open in 2 phases.
Okay.
So I hope we can accommodate a lot of new students.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. And then let's say that you all have an accommodation, but you get your tummy hurts, or you have another problem, and you need to go to see a doctor. Now, I've also found that that's not always very easy to do. So we asked someone called Herman Savelkouls. Very welcome. And you are part of an organization. It's the GP, you are the project manager of the collaborative GPs in the region?
Yes, it's a corporation of general practitioners in this region.
So that's straight in the middle of the targeted audience.
Yes.
The GPs, they help people who have, for ons in Dutch it's huisarts. So you are the group of the huisartsen, the GPs. And can students easily go to a GP?
No, that might be a little problem.
And what's the problem at the moment, you think?
Well, the general practitioners in our country have a special role. They are gatekeepers for the more specialist healthcare in hospitals and mental health centers.
Yeah.
So when you need this kind of help, you first need a recommendation of a general practitioner.
Yeah.
And these general practitioners, they have patients subscribed by their name.
Okay, so your name is in their register.
So every general practitioner has his own group of patients.
Yeah.
For long-term healthcare relationship.
Okay, and it's not easy to get in between those.
Now, these general practitioners, they have a maximum amount of patients they can handle.
Yeah.
It's over 2,000, just a bit over 2,000 in theory.
Yeah.
In practice, it's about 2,400. And all general practitioners in Tilburg are at maximum.
Fully booked.
Fully booked.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have like, do you know, Yusuf, about how many people are here each year? How many students? Is it 2,000-3,000 or something I heard? Or?
Yeah,
4,000.
4,000 even.
Yeah,
so every year we need at least
university are over 4,000.
4,000. So we need at least 2 practitioners, you would say, for all these people who are coming in. But we don't have them.
These are all young people.
Yeah,
they
true.
aren't as
Very,
sick as elderly people.
They look
so
very healthy. Yes.
Luckily.
Yeah.
I hope so.
But when something does happen, is there something that they can do? Because they can't just go to a practitioner then at the moment.
Well, if it's a life-threatening emergency, call 112.
Okay, of course.
Really important.
Yeah, that should be in the phone, 112
Yes.
for an emergency. Yeah.
Yes, for yourself or for another.
Yeah.
Just call 112 if it's life-threatening.
Yeah.
If it's, how do you say it in English? Acute.
Yeah.
Immediately injured by sport, you cut with a knife in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You can always get access to a general practitioner. It's a one-time question you have, and they will help you.
Okay.
That's important.
And for the rest?
When you have healthcare issues, maybe you're familiar with them at your home when you come to Holland.
Yeah.
Try, make sure you have a good description in English or in Dutch, so you can easily explain to the general practitioner what's your issue. Because there are language problems.
Okay, yeah, that's an issue.
Yes.
So you have to bring that along.
Yeah, could help.
Yeah, and can you go to a practitioner then, or is there another way, or is it?
Always call first.
Yeah.
So all general practitioners, you can find them at the website of the university. You can find them on the internet, but better to call first.
And then can you come straight away, you think, or is there anything else needed?
If you get this assistant at the telephone, she's specialized in asking some questions to determine what is the urgency of coming.
Okay.
Trust them. They are specially educated, trained in making this decision about urgency.
And then let's say you rang your phone and you managed to get an appointment to check what's going on with your health situation. You're being helped, you recover, and then you end up with a bill. How does that work financially? So is there like any insurance policy that needs to be aligned?
That's true. That's also a challenge. People from abroad, from other countries, they have insurance at AON, for instance. You must pay at the practice of the general practitioner by card or by cash. You have to pay, and then ask your insurance to pay you.
All right. So there's that's just how it goes. There's no way to prepare for that, like in an instance where you might need healthcare. Yeah. Okay.
And then I think because we talked before, is there also something with websites people can go to do some self-checks or some first...
True.
Yeah?
True. Because the accessibility of general practitioners is limited, but there's a lot of possibilities for self-help.
Yeah.
We have a website in the Netherlands. It's called moetiknaardedokter.nl.
Do I have to go to the doctor, but then in Dutch? Yeah, yeah.
Do I have to the doctor?
Yep.
It has a lot of languages, so you can find your own language on it. And it has a questionnaire to determine whether you really need to see a doctor or you can take some time for self-help.
Okay, and if you're through there, then the next step will be the calling and then...
A doctor or self-help. You can go to a drugstore for some medication. The employees in drugstore are trained in giving information about drugs.
Yep.
So that's good. You can go to a pharmacist. He can help you to find the right way to your help.
Yep.
There are some self-help websites for mental issues, like avi.nl and mindler.com.
Okay. I hope the teachers or the people from the schools or the marketing people are listening, that they can also give them a list of these or if they don't already do that. I can
handle a list.
Yeah, oh, that would be good. Yeah.
And there's a very good website with a lot of information of the university about healthcare in Dutch.
Nice.
Nice to hear. Let's hope that we don't need all the information and all the tips.
Maybe that's the final tip. Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Eat well. Don't go to too much of the great Tilburg parties.
But how do you do that? How do you manage that as a student?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
How do you keep the balance between
student life and...
You could search a hobby. You can do an activity like
we have a
basketball.
lot of sports stuff to do also to keep fit and healthy. Okay, thank you. Anything else to add, Herman, or is this the stuff that they...
I hope this is okay like this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there are any questions later, maybe we'll ask the audience in the... We have a little after talk. Maybe if you're still here, then
yes, I will.
We can call you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
No, thanks.
Okay. Yusuf, maybe another question, because the GPs, of course, when they get people from different nationalities, that falls into your inclusiveness portfolio probably.
Yeah.
Is there something that you do to try and get that across?
What's important to know is that we have a real scarce amount of general practitioners in Tilburg. So it's a problem across a whole city. Yeah. So what we try to do is make arrangement with these types of organizations and to get creative how we can make sure that people get the right service, the right amount of attention from general practitioners. One other subject I have is about international labor migrants. What we try to do is make arrangements with these type of organizations to have an online consult with an app with creative, new, innovative tools, and I hope that we also can make this types of solutions possible for the international student community. And we'll, as said, we already made a covenant earlier this year with our covenant partners, and this is a subject that goes to heart. We hope we'll help find the right general practitioner, and these types of solutions we will have to think through with each other, and we have to get a workaround, because housing is not only scarce, but as said, general practitioners also.
Maybe we should have like an international general practitioner that just does international people from all kinds of cultures.
It could be a business case.
Yeah, that's an interesting business case.
Yeah, sure.
And I think there's also a business case waiting for you somewhere else. You needed to go halfway through the program?
Yeah, I'm going to the Koningshoeve ontmoeting.
And what's that going to be like?
They're all sort of board members, aldermen from public organizations and municipalities. So, and we have a season start with
just like today here.
Just like today, and we'll meet each other and talk and discuss important objects. with each other, subjects.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, then. And then, because I think we have a musical treat, we have maybe just because sometimes it's nice when people enter that there's music playing, but maybe this is especially for your exits and like something like an exit song. It's David Bellowarkos. I think he's going to get his saxophone and take his place of where he wants to make some music. And I heard that David Bellowarkos is a student here in Tilburg, or he's already. You already finished, right, with your study?
Yes.
Yes? And at the moment you have done the masters in music at the conservatorium?
Yeah, I was studying at the conservatory in Fontys. Yeah.
Yes, okay. And you are going to sort of improvise what's for you musically this city in a few minutes.
We're gonna listen.
Ooh. That's so when you are exiting the building, and then Ben is somewhere here. Ben Smith is going to take your place. And then during that time, you have a beautiful song to walk out on. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And let's listen to David Bellowarkos with his interpretation of what is Tilburg for him.
Beautiful.
Nice. Maybe you can go to that microphone for 1 second while Ben is going to sit at the table.
This is.
If you have 1 second, David, for the. Yeah.
If this would be the sound of Tilburg in the streets, I wouldn't mind.
So for you, David, you are playing this, and you are sort of an improvisational artist. So this was for you the sound of Tilburg. And what kind of things, if we had closed our eyes, what would we have seen? What are the things that you remember or that are really important for you in Tilburg?
So for me, yeah, it's beautiful, the parks around, that I can go biking everywhere. It's because for me it's a small city. Yeah, from where I come is like you cannot go by bicycles. You have to take some transportation. So.
And where are you from, if I may ask? So you come from?
I am from Colombia.
Colombia, okay. So we have, there's someone smiling there, like, people from South America. A lot of them come here, of course, because it's a beautiful place. And you were here for how long have you been in Tilburg?
For 4 years, yeah, already.
Okay, 4 years. And we have sort of one of the heads of city marketing Tilburg, one of the important people in the city marketing, at least, I can say, right?
Oh,
not head, but
one of the big heads.
One of the big. One of the people.
I'm just one of the rest.
One of the rest. Ben Smith is one of the team of City Marketing Tilburg. And if he would sort of go with a campaign to Colombia, what do you think Colombians would really love about Tilburg?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Because he does the marketing for the city, like city marketing, and if he would make a campaign in Colombia, what do you think would really sort of people like in Colombia to see from Tilburg?
Okay. Like the safety that you can work at night without a problem. The train, like it's kind of efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what else? The education. I think the high level in the education. And also that you have a lot of different possibilities, like in culture, like the theaters, also the help, like the financial help from organizations. That actually, when you come here, there are a lot of organizations that can help you, but you don't know, and it's not easy to find those. But something like that, I think, would be very interesting.
Nice. And you're staying in Tilburg because you're done?
Yes, yeah.
So you're going, and for a long term, you think?
Yes, I think. I mean, yeah, it depends always, like the job, like the work. But for the moment, yes, I would say.
And if people want to follow you and hear your music, where should they go?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Bello 32.
David Bello 32.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, thank you, and thank you for playing. It was a beautiful song.
Yeah,
Do you have any questions, Ben? Also for?
Yeah. No. Well, do you feel a little bit as a Tilburger already after all those years being here?
Actually, I like to see myself more like a citizen of the world, like
world citizen.
Like I just.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want to have like frontiers, at least in my mind, and so I just feel more connected with the Earth actually, and yeah, just being in the planet Earth.
Okay.
But I like to be here also. Like,
yeah? What do you like the most being here?
Actually, that I am doing the artistic path that I want to create, and finding like the right musicians and doing wonderful projects. And by the way, I also play classical music or contemporary.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, finally.
Like, if you look back at the first year that you were here, and a lot of people are here just for the first time, what was the biggest surprise that was, that made you really happy when you were here? What surprised you the most being here? Was that the safety? Was that people sitting on terraces drinking beer? What made you happy?
Maybe, yeah, when I go dancing, that people are very open, like very,
social, easygoing.
Yeah, it can be like very happy also, like in parties.
Okay.
Yeah, but
parties are always okay.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Nice. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the music as well. And Ben, ever since we already started talking about what describes Tilburg for international students, what does city marketing think about that? How should the identity be communicated?
Well, Tilburg is really a city that's constantly in transition. We're changing, reinventing ourselves, and it has to do with a lot of different things that are happening around us, like economically. Maybe a really long time ago, we'd have 125 factories here in the city with chimneys and a lot of smoke and making textile. And after that died, we had to reinvent ourselves, and then we started working on trains, like in the lock hall where we are right now. The cabooses and trains were made here and repaired here. And after they left here, we had to reinvent ourselves again and started changing the place where we are right now in the district of the Spoorzone into a creative hub. Yep. So we're constantly changing. And if you're not into changing and you like everything to be the same, this might not be the best spot to be. And if you're into that, like, okay, I'm finished with this, let's go on to the next step, or what's going to happen tomorrow, then this is a good place to be. And like, oh, where did he go?
David is now in the...
Where David just went, what he just said, people are, they are easygoing, they're really social, they like to talk to you. So the best thing to do for people that just get here is hook up with somebody that lives here. It'll be really easy. They love to share things with you. You're not going to find things that... you're not going to easily find things by yourself and on your own. It's not just there for being seen. It's better to hook up with somebody that could show you where to go and what to see, and then you'll see a lot more. You'll see the real Tilburg then.
Yeah, sounds really good. I think what I noticed last year is that there are also a lot of students that are doing voluntary work, and that's a great way to meet locals as well, make friends, and then friendships grow out of that. Yeah. Do you see that happening a lot?
Yes, I do. What I also see is that the people that come here, we have a completely different culture. If you're not, how many people are here not from Europe?
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot.
Okay, a lot of you guys. Yeah. And what you'll find out here is we're really Burgundiers, we're really into cozy things and having fun, and everything we do goes together with food and drinking and laughter and fun. So if you're not used to that, that's something, you know, I think you've got to get used to. Where do you find a broadcasting moment at this moment where you see that the sidekick that was just sitting there in the beginning of the program is drinking beer behind the scenes right now? And that's not strange for us. That's okay. In Germany, it's okay. People, and when they're working, they'll in the afternoon lunch break, they'll have beer. That's normal. And I'm not promoting alcohol. Sorry for the people that are anti-alcohol.
But you do love events where people drink a little bit.
You know, it's got to be cozy and fun and stuff like that.
Maybe we'll talk a little bit about some of the events that these people definitely should go to. But Carlos, you are in the hot seat at the moment.
Hi there.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And as I believe, you are sort of a tour guide also in Amsterdam.
Yeah, indeed.
But you're going to be one in Tilburg too.
Exactly. Yes. Well, I started actually in Germany, where I grew up, and in Black Forest. If maybe some of you guys have already been there, I gotta say I've seen a lot of Dutch people, especially during the summer holidays, going through there. Especially most of the time when they're on their way to Italy or France, and they make a stop in the Black Forest, especially Freiburg, where I grew up. And that's where I started giving tour guides, exactly. Yeah, and so I came back to Tilburg half a year ago, and that's where I got the idea of like, why not doing it here? Why not doing it in Amsterdam? Why not do it in Tilburg? Yeah.
We have a group of 100 students. Where would you take them if you would let them see the cool spots in Tilburg?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, for me personally, I always like to focus on the center, downtown. Mm-hmm. That also applies to Tilburg. Most of the time, obviously, there are so many ways of doing tours. But like, if I would say, let's do a tour for 1 hour, 1.5, definitely the center. And obviously, if there's more time, I would definitely take them more out around the city, because I have also been to a couple city tours here. Obviously, also to learn, especially about the history, which has been fascinating. Seeing how the city is reinventing itself. But yes, to cut it short, the center, definitely. Like the William II statue, the cathedral in the center, of course. Local and in general, a sport zone. This is a perfect example, I would say, of the new spirit of the city, of reinventing itself, basically. And this is what really, I would say, defines Tilburg. Yeah,
that's really nice to hear. What I'm curious about, like you mentioned the history of the city.
Right.
What are some of the things of the history of Tilburg that really caught your eye?
Right. Well, for example, when I was studying to actually prepare my tours, there are many ways of doing tours, as I was saying. I really like history and culture, so I really like to focus that on my tours, especially because it explains why things are the way they are, right? So, and in this case, for example, what really struck me about Tilburg was the connection with William II, actually, and his reasons as to why Tilburg became such a famous city within the Netherlands in those times, and also in his own words, basically the place where he could really find peace and calmness, basically. Yeah. Definitely William II, and the history with of course the factories here. I mean, we're now sitting right in the library locker, which used to be a train building factory. And of course, obviously, with the entire cotton and fabric production. So those are the main things I would say.
I can relate to all three of them. But Ben, are you missing some of the history?
No. This is a great way to learn every city, and the same as here, as Carlos said. I always like to, when I go on travel, go city hopping and stuff like that, I like to do a tour on a bicycle.
Right.
And the tour guide could tell me a lot of stuff, where to go and where not to go, and why things are the way they are. And that's a really great way to learn a lot about a city in a short span of time.
Totally. Yes.
And you're also working on one of those maps. You said the use it map. We talked about it earlier.
Right. Exactly. Yes. I had so far the pleasure of being able to co-work, I would say, especially since especially more giving a point of view from a city guy, and obviously a point of view as a foreigner, who as a person who came to the city a couple of years ago. Exactly, and it's been brilliant. Really great idea. Like in general, like the entire use it map idea. So it's basically like a brand. And so right now there's a team, amongst others, Peter's working on it with it.
So that's going to be somewhere in October, I hope, that it's going to be released. It's almost done.
Hopefully, yes.
And if you were, because we want to talk a little bit about events, because we have like 5 more minutes left.
Okay,
what is an event, if you like from a user point of view, would say this is an event that you really have liked, that you would say go to it if you were here when it's live in the city?
Right. Well, I have to say I'm a bit biased.
No problem.
Because I'm from the southwest of Germany. And so we also have carnival.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously you gotta say the carnival, especially like if you look into the history of the Netherlands, it is very special here in the south, right?
Yeah.
So yes, that is definitely something that I would say this is it.
So I think a lot of these people also are here for a half year, so they should check if the half year ends exactly when Carnival starts, so that maybe book an extra week.
It's one big
they're going to make it.
They're going to make it.
They're going to make it.
Thank you very much, Carlos, and good luck with the map. And
you.
He's the tour guide, so where can they find you? Do you already have like a
Right. Well, it's an ongoing process right now. I'm on Guru Walk. I'm right now so far. I've been especially freelancing, and I have been astonished by the positive reactions so far.
Cool.
So yes, definitely, it's an ongoing process, and let's see how it goes.
Nice. Then we hope you find him. Thank you very much for being here, Carlos.
Thank you for having me. It was lots of fun. Thank you.
Right. And when we talk about events like Carnival, there are many more events to check out, right? In Tilburg.
Every week there's something to do out here, so that won't be a problem.
And let's say I'm a student, I'm new to the city. I might have some musical interests or some cultural interest. Where do I start looking for these events?
The most important thing to do is check out the Instagram page or the website called Student in Tilburg, because that's where you got to be. You'll find everything there about housing, events, things to do, everything that's relevant for students, you'll find there. So that's the first thing to do. If you have that, then you know what's going to be happening. And in September, we've got a lot of things. Like we've got the Tilburg 10 miles. If you're into walking a distance or running a certain distance, thousands of people are coming here in that weekend. It's on a Saturday and a Sunday. If you're into techno music, we have Draaimolen Festival. Really cool. People coming from all over the place for techno. If you're into jazz, we have jazz, just like we had a minute ago. You'll have that, Make It Jazz. And in October, if you're superstitious, you shouldn't do this, but it's on Friday the 13th of October. We'll have 2 special moments. We'll have the opening of an exposition in the Textile Museum. Textile, very important for the history. It is the history of Tilburg. Really cool place to go to check it out if you've never been there. It's not just a museum. They have a textile lab where you collaborate with designers and all kinds of people that stay there and make things. But you're able, it's pretty good weather now, but it's going to get cold and wet and stuff. And you can fabricate your own scarf or your socks on a computer and have it made while you're waiting. So that's really cool to see. But they're having a new exposition called Is It Alive, where the combination of textile and technique come together. Really cool. A lot of people coming over to see that. The Pont Museum also real cool. But we also have, on the same day, the opening of Festival Circolo. And Tilburg being one of the 2 cities that have the courses for the circus. Don't think about lions and tigers and clowns and stuff like that, but more contemporary circus with theater and acrobatics and a little bit Cirque du Soleil, but then more cultural things maybe. 13th of October up until the 22nd, I think. Really cool in Spoor Park to check out. So and it keeps going like that.
That's just October. That's 2 months.
This is September, October, and I'm missing like 10 things, but you'll find that on Student in Tilburg.
And if you would have to recommend one event that is very much Tilburg, and very surprising to the students? What would that be?
Considering that you're being here for what, half a year?
Half a year, maybe.
Okay,
yeah.
considering that, because there are things happening, let's say next May and June and July, that would be Carnival. So just before you leave here, you have to do that.
If you want a little taste of that already, there's the 11th of the 11th. So that's like the pre-party. So we start in November with the first little party, and then we go wild in probably February, I think, end of February. So you can just take it.
Yeah,
nice.
You'll have to feel that.
And this is a quick recommendation from myself. But I know that a lot of these events, like if you find an event you really like, you can probably also try and see if they need volunteers. Because if they do, that's like a double win-win. And
you're in there for free. Usually,
you make friends, you meet
make
locals. It makes your experience, I'd say, even better. So.
True. Nice. Definitely true. What do you think is the main reason people are attracted? We heard a few of them, but because of course you did a lot of research about it. What do people find attractive about the city?
It's more from hearsay. People that have been here and surprised by, okay, I didn't know that. You know, we used to be those 125 factories here in the city. We used to be the ugliest city in the Netherlands, but we've made a comeback that surprises so many people. There are so many things to do for all different ages, and really, if you have a little bit of the adventurous DNA within you, you'd like to discover things and experience things, and even if that's just eating vegetarian or going through the Maiden Maze in Dolores, those are really cool things to do. So that's what they, experiencing new things. That's what really attracts people to come here.
So there's another experience coming because David is sort of going to play the last tunes of this episode.
Cool.
I really thank you for being here. All the other people that were here
My
before
pleasure.
also, thank you for being here. I hope you found some new information, some inspiration. I also found the tip of Heiko very good. Go and do some volunteer stuff in the city. Be a part of it, because that's why we asked you to come to the front. You're really a part of the city now. And I think we're going to end this, and then we're going to have like 10 to 15 minutes for people who can come down and ask something at the microphone, because we always have like a 10 minutes after program where we just talk about the stuff that we didn't have time for in the program.
So it's like a small Q&A. So feel welcome.
Small Q&A. Yeah. Thank you very much, Heiko.
Thank you.
Are you inspired?
I am. Now I feel a bit nostalgic.
Yeah,
student life.
Yeah, student life.
It's not too long ago, but it feels too long ago. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Listen to all the podcasts, and we hope to see you in another episode of TilbuZz.